Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid stress. They treat stress like an enemy, something toxic, something that slowly destroys beauty, drains femininity, and accelerates aging. And for years, women especially have been taught the same message over and over again. If you want to stay youthful, soft, and emotionally balanced, you need a calm life with as little pressure as possible. But reality tells a very different story. Some of the most radiant women are not living slow, effortless lives at all. Many of them carry enormous responsibility. They run businesses, raise children, build careers, heal from painful experiences, manage relationships, and constantly evolve under pressure. Yet somehow, instead of looking emotionally depleted, they often appear sharper, more alive, more magnetic, and deeply connected to themselves. And this is where The Upside of Stress by Kelly McGonigal completely changes the conversation around stress. According to the psychology behind the book, stress itself is not automatically destructive. What damages people more deeply is the belief that stress is destroying them. The way the mind interprets pressure changes the way the body responds to it. That means two women can experience the exact same level of stress while aging emotionally and physically in completely different ways. One woman experiences stress as evidence that life is attacking her. She moves through pressure feeling helpless, emotionally trapped, constantly overwhelmed, and disconnected from herself. Over time, her nervous system stays in survival mode. Her body absorbs tension without recovery. Her emotional energy slowly collapses inward. But another woman experiences stress differently. She sees pressure as proof that she is engaged with life, growing through life, and participating fully in something meaningful. Instead of collapsing under pressure, she learns how to work with it. She develops emotional flexibility, mental resilience, a stronger relationship with herself. And strangely enough, that internal relationship changes the energy she carries. Because youthful energy is not only physical, it is psychological. Some women look exhausted at 30 because emotionally they stopped feeling alive years ago. Others continue radiating vitality at 50 because internally they still feel connected to growth, movement, curiosity, purpose, and emotional aliveness. That is why the women who stay youthful the longest are often not the women avoiding stress completely. They are the women who learned how to regulate it instead of fear it. They understand that pressure is not always a signal of destruction. Sometimes it is a signal of expansion, and this changes everything about the way they move through life. Instead of seeing themselves as fragile, they begin seeing themselves as adaptable. Instead of constantly asking, "How do I escape pressure?" they begin asking, "How do I become stronger inside it?" That mindset alone changes the chemistry of the body more than most people realize. Because when the brain interprets stress as danger, the nervous system tightens. But when the brain interprets stress as challenge, growth, or meaningful engagement, the body responds with a completely different emotional state. This is one of the hidden reasons some women become more beautiful with age instead of less. Their energy does not stagnate emotionally. They continue evolving psychologically, and perhaps this is the real secret behind youthful women. Not a stress-free life, but a nervous system that no longer sees stress as the end of themselves. One, shifting your mindset. One of the biggest differences between women who become emotionally exhausted early in life and women who continue radiating youthful energy over time lies in the way they interpret stress inside their minds. Most people automatically see stress as a sign of danger. The moment pressure appears, they immediately assume something is wrong, that life is becoming too heavy, that they are failing to keep everything under control. And when the mind interprets stress as a threat, the body responds by moving into defense mode. This is what psychology calls the threat response. In this state, the nervous system begins tightening. The body shifts into survival mode. The mind becomes more anxious, rigid, and emotionally overwhelmed. Over time, this pattern slowly drains a person's life force, not only emotionally, but physically as well. The face loses brightness, the eyes lose vitality, the body begins carrying constant fatigue even after rest. But youthful women often develop a completely different relationship with stress. They do not automatically see pressure as proof that life is attacking them. Instead, they see it as evidence that they are entering a new stage of growth. Instead of thinking, "I can't handle this anymore," they begin thinking, "Maybe this is shaping me into a stronger version of myself." This is what psychologists call the challenge response. When someone interprets pressure as a challenge rather than a threat, the body reacts very differently. The heart rate still rises, energy still activates. But instead of collapsing into panic and emotional contraction, the nervous system prepares itself to adapt and grow. And interestingly, both responses can begin from the exact same external situation. The same demanding job, the same busy schedule, the same responsibilities. But the meaning the mind assigns to the experience determines whether stress slowly destroys you or strengthens you. That is why many women become more radiant as they grow older. Not because their lives become easier, but because they stop viewing pressure as proof of weakness. They understand that meaningful lives almost always involve pressure. Loving deeply comes with pressure. Building a career comes with pressure. Emotional growth comes with pressure. Healing yourself comes with pressure. But instead of running away from these experiences, they expand their nervous system's ability to hold them. And that creates a completely different kind of presence, because these women no longer carry the energy of victims. They are not constantly complaining that life is unfair or emotionally collapsing every time challenges appear. Even when they feel tired internally, they still maintain a sense of agency over their lives. And that changes the energy they carry. A woman who constantly sees stress as proof of failure slowly becomes afraid of challenge itself. She begins shrinking her life in search of emotional safety. But a woman who sees stress as evidence of growth often becomes more emotionally flexible, resilient, and psychologically deep over time. And ironically, this mindset itself is one of the things that helps women remain youthful both emotionally and physically. Because true youthfulness is not only about appearance, it is about whether a person still feels emotionally alive, still capable of growth, still open to expansion, curiosity, movement, and transformation. That is why the women who stay youthful the longest are often not the women with the least pressure in life. They are the women who never allow pressure to disconnect them from their inner vitality. Two, stress enhances the body's beauty. One of the most fascinating things modern psychology and neuroscience are beginning to reveal is that stress is not always harmful to the body. In fact, under the right psychological conditions, stress can actually activate biological processes associated with resilience, vitality, and even slower aging. This is one of the most misunderstood truths about the female body. Most women have been conditioned to believe that pressure automatically destroys beauty, that stress inevitably damages the skin, weakens the body, drains feminine energy, and accelerates aging. And while chronic emotional burnout absolutely can harm the body, not all stress creates the same biological response. The body responds differently depending on how the mind interprets the experience. When a woman constantly experiences stress through fear, helplessness, emotional resistance, and internal collapse, the nervous system remains trapped in survival mode for too long. Cortisol stays elevated. Recovery becomes weaker. The body slowly begins operating from depletion instead of regeneration. But when stress is approached with emotional regulation, purpose, and psychological resilience, something very different begins happening internally. The body starts producing higher levels of DHEA, a hormone strongly connected to repair, recovery, resilience, and healthy aging. And this changes everything. Because DHEA is often described by researchers as one of the body's natural protective hormones. It helps buffer the harmful effects of chronic stress while supporting brain function, emotional flexibility, skin health, and overall vitality. In simple terms, the body becomes better at recovering instead of simply surviving. This is one of the hidden reasons some women seem to become more radiant during periods of growth, challenge, and transformation instead of becoming emotionally defeated by them. Their bodies are not just reacting to stress mechanically. Their nervous systems are adapting intelligently, and the mind plays a massive role in this process. Women who maintain a healthier relationship with stress often recover faster emotionally. Their energy remains more fluid. Their nervous systems do not become permanently trapped in exhaustion. Even during difficult periods, they continue moving, evolving, learning, and emotionally engaging with life instead of emotionally shutting down. That psychological flexibility affects the body more deeply than most people realize. Because beauty is not only cosmetic, it is energetic. Some women lose their glow not because they are working too hard, but because internally, they no longer feel emotionally connected to hope, movement, purpose, or self-trust. Their stress becomes emotional stagnation instead of emotional growth. But women who learn how to metabolize pressure differently often carry a very different presence. Their eyes remain alive. Their expressions remain animated. Their emotional energy keeps circulating instead of collapsing inward. And even science is now showing that the brain itself becomes more adaptable under healthy stress responses. When stress is experienced as meaningful challenge instead of constant threat, the brain strengthens its ability to learn, adapt, focus, and recover. Neuroplasticity improves, emotional resilience expands. The mind becomes less fragile over time. This is why some women seem sharper, wiser, and more magnetic after difficult life experiences instead of becoming emotionally hardened by them. They did not avoid pressure. They transformed their relationship with it, and perhaps this is one of the most powerful shifts a woman can make in modern life. To stop seeing herself as biologically fragile every time life becomes intense. To stop assuming pressure automatically steals beauty from the body. Because under the right emotional conditions, challenge can actually awaken vitality. Not all stress ages a woman. Sometimes the right kind of stress teaches her nervous system how to become stronger, more adaptive, and more alive. Three, activating oxytocin. One of the most surprising discoveries about stress is that the body does not only respond to pressure by releasing survival hormones. Under healthy emotional conditions, stress can also activate oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, and this changes the entire emotional experience of stress. Most people associate oxytocin with love, affection, physical touch, or emotional intimacy. But according to modern psychology and neuroscience, oxytocin is also deeply connected to the way human beings cope with stress itself. In many ways, oxytocin is the body's reminder that human beings were never designed to survive pressure completely alone. When healthy stress responses activate oxytocin, the body becomes more inclined toward connection instead of emotional isolation. Instead of shutting down emotionally, a person becomes more likely to seek support, deepen relationships, express vulnerability safely, and maintain emotional openness even during difficult periods. And this has a profound effect on feminine energy, because many women become emotionally hardened, not from stress itself, but from prolonged emotional disconnection while carrying stress alone. Over time, survival mode changes the face, the nervous system, the emotional tone of the body. The eyes become guarded, the jaw tightens, the emotional energy contracts inward. Even beauty begins looking emotionally exhausted. But women who remain emotionally connected while moving through pressure often age very differently. There is softness in them without fragility, strength without emotional harshness. Their nervous systems remain flexible instead of emotionally frozen, and strangely enough, this emotional flexibility begins shaping the body itself. Oxytocin helps regulate the cardiovascular system, reduce inflammatory stress responses, and support emotional recovery. But beyond biology, it also affects presence, because the body always reflects emotional state. Women who continue experiencing trust, connection, affection, emotional warmth, and meaningful human bonds while navigating difficult lives often carry a very different kind of beauty. Their facial expressions remain softer. Their emotional energy stays more open. Their presence feels alive rather than emotionally defended. And this is one of the hidden reasons some women become more feminine as they become stronger instead of less feminine. Many people mistakenly believe strength requires emotional hardness, that in order to survive pressure, women must become cold, emotionally detached, hyper-independent, or disconnected from vulnerability. But psychologically, true resilience often works in the opposite direction. The healthiest nervous systems are not the ones that never feel emotion. They are the ones that can experience stress while still remaining connected to love, support, meaning, and emotional fluidity. That is where oxytocin becomes powerful, because it allows strength and softness to coexist. A woman no longer has to choose between being emotionally open and emotionally resilient. She becomes both at the same time, and that combination creates an energy that feels incredibly alive. You can often feel this immediately around certain women. Even after difficult experiences, they still radiate warmth. Their femininity does not disappear under pressure. Their emotional openness remains intact. There is depth in them, but not emotional heaviness. Power in them, but not emotional aggression. And people naturally feel safe around that kind of energy. Because emotionally regulated feminine energy has a calming effect on other nervous systems. It softens tension instead of amplifying it. It creates emotional grounding instead of emotional chaos. This is why youthful feminine presence is not simply about appearance. It is deeply connected to emotional circulation inside the body. The ability to continue loving, connecting, trusting, and emotionally engaging with life even after experiencing pressure, disappointment, or pain. Women who lose this emotional openness often begin aging internally long before they age physically. But women who protect their emotional aliveness while moving through challenge often maintain a magnetic vitality for decades. And perhaps this is one of the most beautiful truths about feminine psychology. The women who stay most radiant are often not the women who avoided difficult lives. They are the women who learned how to stay emotionally connected to themselves and others while living through them. One of the most powerful shifts a woman can make is realizing that stress does not only need to be managed, it can be transformed. This is where the idea of stress alchemy becomes so important. Alchemy is the process of turning something heavy into something valuable. And psychologically, that is exactly what emotionally resilient women learn how to do with pressure. They stop treating stress like emotional poison and begin learning how to redirect its energy instead of letting it accumulate inside the body. Because stress becomes destructive mostly when it remains trapped inside the nervous system without movement, regulation, or release. The first technique is changing internal language. Most people underestimate how deeply the nervous system listens to the way we speak to ourselves during difficult moments. A woman under pressure may unconsciously repeat phrases like, "I'm falling apart," "I can't handle this," or "Everything is too much." And while these thoughts may feel emotionally true in the moment, they quietly train the brain to interpret pressure as danger. Over time, the nervous system begins reacting as if survival itself is under threat. But emotionally resilient women begin shifting their inner dialogue. Instead of telling themselves, "I'm about to collapse," they begin saying, "This is difficult, but I can move through it." Instead of emotionally catastrophizing every stressful moment, they remind their nervous system that challenge does not automatically mean destruction. And this changes the body more than people realize, because the brain is constantly listening for emotional instructions. The goal is not fake positivity or pretending life feels easy. It is teaching the nervous system that pressure can exist without emotional helplessness. The second technique is learning not to store stress unnecessarily. Many women carry unresolved emotional tension inside their bodies for months or even years. They replay conversations repeatedly, suppress emotions without processing them, stay mentally attached to situations they can no longer control. And over time, stress stops being temporary pressure and becomes chronic emotional weight. This is where emotionally healthy women follow a different principle: solve it or set it down. If something can be addressed, they take action. If it cannot be changed immediately, they stop allowing their nervous system to endlessly recycle the same emotional loop. Because constantly carrying unresolved stress without movement slowly turns emotional tension into physical exhaustion. And this is often what damages the body most. Not the stressful event itself, but the prolonged internal accumulation afterward. Women who stay emotionally vibrant understand that the body needs recovery cycles. The nervous system was never designed to stay activated indefinitely. The third technique is connection. One of the most dangerous things stress does is convince people to emotionally isolate themselves. Many women instinctively withdraw when overwhelmed. They stop sharing, stop asking for support, stop emotionally connecting, and slowly, stress becomes heavier because it is carried completely alone. But human beings regulate emotionally through connection. When women talk openly with trusted people, receive emotional warmth, laugh, feel understood, or experience safe physical and emotional connection, oxytocin increases. And oxytocin helps calm the nervous system, soften stress responses, and restore emotional balance. This is why emotionally healthy women do not always try to appear invincible. They understand that strength is not isolation. Real strength includes knowing when to receive support. And finally, one of the simplest but most life-changing practices is the micro-reset. Many people wait until complete burnout before attempting recovery. But emotionally intelligent women learn how to interrupt stress cycles early, before the nervous system becomes overwhelmed. Sometimes recovery only requires 3 to 10 intentional minutes. A short walk, deep breathing, stretching, stepping outside into sunlight, closing the eyes and slowing the body down. Small moments that tell the nervous system, "You are safe enough to recover now." These moments seem small, but biologically, they are incredibly powerful. Because the body heals through regulation, not constant endurance. And perhaps this is the deepest lesson behind stress alchemy. Emotionally resilient women do not become youthful because they avoid difficult lives. They remain youthful because they learn how to move pressure through the body instead of allowing it to harden inside them. They do not fear stress. They learn how to metabolize it into growth, vitality, emotional depth, and strength. One of the biggest misconceptions about youthfulness is the belief that comfort automatically preserves vitality. Many people imagine that the ideal life is one without pressure, challenge, uncertainty, or emotional intensity. A quiet routine, minimal stress, maximum comfort. And while rest is essential for the nervous system, a life that becomes too emotionally flat can slowly begin draining psychological aliveness. Because human beings were not designed only for comfort, they were designed for growth. And this is where many women unknowingly begin aging emotionally long before they age physically. When life becomes too repetitive, too emotionally numb, too disconnected from challenge or purpose, the brain slowly loses stimulation. Dopamine levels begin decreasing, motivation weakens, curiosity fades, emotional energy becomes stagnant. Over time, a woman may still look functional on the outside while internally feeling emotionally disconnected from life itself. And strangely enough, that emotional stagnation eventually shows up physically. The face becomes less expressive. The eyes lose depth. The nervous system becomes emotionally flat instead of emotionally alive. There is no movement internally, no expansion, no sense of becoming. This is one of the hidden reasons many women begin feeling old, even when they are still young biologically. Their bodies may still be youthful, but psychologically, they no longer feel engaged with growth. Because the brain thrives on meaningful stimulation. Healthy challenge activates focus, motivation, adaptability, emotional resilience, and neurological flexibility. It keeps the mind responsive instead of rigid, alive instead of emotionally asleep. This is why many successful women who remain youthful over time are not necessarily living easier lives. In many cases, they are living deeply engaged lives. Lives with goals, movement, purpose, reinvention, emotional evolution. They continue challenging themselves mentally, emotionally, creatively, and spiritually. And that constant inner movement keeps their energy dynamic. There is something incredibly life-giving about becoming a new version of yourself repeatedly throughout life. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as identity evolution. The women who stay most vibrant are often the women who never stop evolving psychologically. They do not remain trapped inside one outdated version of themselves for decades. They continue learning, adapting, rebuilding, expanding the way they think, love, create, communicate, and experience the world. And that process itself keeps the nervous system younger, because emotional vitality is deeply connected to movement. Many people unknowingly age themselves by emotionally stopping. They stop dreaming, stop taking risks, stop exploring new parts of themselves, stop allowing life to stretch them. And eventually, comfort slowly becomes emotional stagnation disguised as safety. But women who remain psychologically alive understand something important. Challenge creates energy when it is connected to meaning. Not meaningless exhaustion, not burnout, but purposeful expansion. This is why many women become more attractive after difficult periods of transformation instead of less attractive. They carry the energy of someone who is still becoming, still discovering herself, still emotionally participating in life. And people can feel that immediately. Because youthful energy is not only about smooth skin or physical appearance, it is about psychological openness, curiosity, emotional movement, the willingness to continue growing instead of emotionally settling into numbness. A woman who is still emotionally connected to purpose often carries a completely different presence than someone who has emotionally surrendered to routine and passive comfort. Her mind stays sharper. Her emotional energy stays fluid. Her nervous system remains adaptive instead of emotionally rigid. And perhaps this is why deeply fulfilled women often appear younger than women who spent years emotionally disconnected from themselves. Not because their lives were easier, but because they never stopped becoming. At the end of the day, stress is not proof that your life is falling apart. In many cases, it is proof that you are fully participating in life. A meaningful life will almost always involve pressure. Caring deeply creates pressure. Building something valuable creates pressure. Loving people, growing through difficult seasons, healing old wounds, taking responsibility for your future, evolving into a stronger version of yourself. All of these experiences place demands on the nervous system. And perhaps the real goal was never to eliminate stress completely. Perhaps the real goal is learning how to build a healthier relationship with it. Because the women who remain youthful, magnetic, and emotionally alive over time are usually not the women who escaped challenge. They are the women who stopped seeing pressure as an enemy and started learning how to work with it intelligently. They understand something many people never realize. The body is constantly listening to the emotional meaning you attach to your experiences. If stress is interpreted as punishment, the nervous system contracts. But if stress is interpreted as growth, adaptation, movement, and purpose, the body begins responding with a completely different chemistry. And this changes not only health, but presence. Because psychologically alive women carry a very different energy. Their eyes remain engaged with life. Their emotional world continues moving. Their nervous system stays flexible instead of emotionally frozen. Even after difficult experiences, there is still warmth in them, curiosity in them, expansion in them. That is why some women become more beautiful as they age. Not because life became easier, but because internally they became stronger, wiser, more emotionally adaptive, and more connected to themselves. They no longer spend their lives trying to avoid every uncomfortable emotion. Instead, they learn how to metabolize pressure into resilience, emotional depth, and vitality. And ironically, that emotional flexibility becomes one of the most attractive things about them. Because true feminine presence is not built through perfection or constant comfort. It is built through emotional aliveness. The ability to remain open without collapsing. To remain soft without becoming fragile. To continue evolving without emotionally hardening against life. This is why stress, when understood correctly, can actually become a kind of psychological vitamin. Not because suffering is glamorous, not because burnout is healthy, but because challenge, when paired with emotional intelligence and recovery, strengthens the nervous system instead of destroying it. And over time, that strength becomes visible. It appears in the calmness of a woman who no longer panics every time life becomes difficult. In the confidence of a woman who trusts her ability to adapt. In the grounded energy of someone who no longer fears growth simply because growth feels uncomfortable. That kind of woman naturally carries influence. Because people are drawn toward nervous systems that feel regulated, emotionally alive, and psychologically strong. They feel safe around that energy, inspired by it, stabilized by it. And perhaps this is the deepest truth behind youthful women. Youthfulness is not simply about preserving beauty. It is about preserving emotional movement, psychological flexibility, inner vitality, and connection to life itself. Because the women who stay radiant the longest are often not the women who lived the easiest lives. They are the women who learned how to turn pressure into power. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If today's reflections resonated with you, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes, a simple conversation can open the door to something far deeper than we expect. And if you're drawn to feminine psychology, soft power, and the emotional depth behind human connection, subscribe to Velune Her so we can continue exploring the quiet influence of feminine energy together. I'll see you in the next video.